All right, everyone, welcome in to day 3 coverage of the NFL draft. The Chiefs pick off or start their back-to-back-ish picks in, 12 picks so we're getting going today. I'm not sure when Ryan's going to be here. It seems like he bumped the stream down a little bit, a few minutes here and there. But he'll be here when he gets here. I hope everyone's doing well. This is RGR Football. For those of you who don't know, I am on this side, Daniel Harms, senior film analyst here, and I will be streamlining everything this morning as we get kicked off. Actually, it is the afternoon now, with it being 12 p.m. Central Time, and the draft on day 3 started off with a lot of guys that I had ranked on day 3, or excuse me, on day 2, like end of day 2, third round kind of players. Those guys are starting to get picked off right now. Mason McCormick being the last guy that was one of my day 2 grades. There are still a few out there, but for the most part, we are seeing those guys that are graded on day 2 that get pushed down into day 3 start to get picked off from the rest of the NFL teams. So Chiefs have obviously 2 draft picks from days 1 and day 2. Xavier Worthy, Kingsley Suamataia. So those are really good foundational offensive players for you, and can continue to let this offense grow as Patrick enters his physical and mental prime. He's not there yet. By all accounts. And big shocker that Miami traded up to get another speed guy in Jalen Wright, going to Miami with pick 120. That's hilarious, by the way. It's just, that's all Miami wants, and they're going to continue to be pounded in the playoffs when it comes down to having to play defense and actually be physical. So very funny to see them do that. Hope you guys are doing well. Again, I'm very excited to see how the Chiefs handle this with 2 fourths, a 5th, a 6th, and a 7th round pick to really round out 2024. I believe that they've done a great job on their first 2 days, not trading back into the 3rd round just because you can, but staying put and going with their board and just letting it play out. So I'm a big fan of what they've done. And obviously, we're going to see lots and lots of players go today. It's a very big day. Dreams come true today, and picks just come off the board. So last couple of nights, we've been, going for broke with a lot of these streams, 4+ hours. You guys have been doing a fantastic job being in here. And as always, if you guys need questions answered, the super chats are always open. We will keep it flowing. We're probably going to be here for a little while after the Chiefs pick, and then take a break until we get into their picking in the 5th, 6th, and 7th round. So going to be a lot of fun. How's it going, Terry? Nice to see you. Jayhawk, thank you for the $2 and saying hi. Appreciate you being here. And like I said, we're going to talk about what they do, and there's going to be a little bit less formality with that today, which is always nice because we don't have to talk about every single player that gets drafted. And while you guys are here and coming in, only 200 of you in here right now, but it's a nice, easy early afternoon. Hit that like button for us here at RGR Football so we can continue to grow the channel. It's actually kind of warm up here right now. I'm going to go turn the air on so that, I don't die really quickly. Yeah, it was approaching 75 degrees in my upstairs. So one of the benefits of living on base, for those of you that don't know, is that they actually temperature control both upstairs and downstairs. So we have a separate air conditioner funnel for the upstairs and the downstairs. So that's always nice to have. And as soon as we, move next summer, it's going to be different. It's going to be a little different. So you're only here so you don't get fined. Oh, I appreciate that, Thundarius, but I am not going to be one of the people that finds you. I can promise you that. All right. Who are you? What do you? I don't know who you are. I don't know why you followed me, but whatever. All right. What's going on, Dirty? Who are you hoping for with the first 2 picks, Dan? So right now I'm thinking corner, I'm thinking wide receiver, and defensive tackle. I know that the defensive tackle board's not great, but it does seem like, a guy like Leonard Taylor out of Miami, who 2 years ago had an up season. This past year, he had a down year. It feels like he's a fit for the Chiefs. He would be a defensive tackle you're looking at, maybe a guy like Austin Booker again. Right now, we haven't seen the defensive ends start to go on day 2. A punter was just drafted, so that's cool. Um, that's really mean. Ian Rappaport just tweeted a major offensive weapon for Iowa, the punter that the Bears just drafted. That's pretty funny. That's good. I know people are really, really into tight end. Again, for me, there's more needs than tight end personally, and that's just because I still think that Travis Kelce is just it, and he's going to be there for a long time, or not long time, but the next couple of years. So I don't think that they're really there yet. We still see TJ Tampa on the board. The fact that he's falling is starting to him and Cam Hart. Honestly, I think TJ Tampa more so than Cam Hart is a little worrisome because TJ Tampa did not take advantage of the Senior Bowl and the things that are afforded to you as a senior that allow you to get drafted on day 2. Like, I think if TJ Tampa would have gone into the Senior Bowl and done better throughout the process there, that he might have been picked on day 2. But it's starting to worry me that he's not being selected and he is still falling down the board. So I'm probably off of him right now personally, but there's still some good safeties, Jaden Hicks, Malik Mustafa, Keaton Oladapo. For me, those are my 3 graded safeties right now that are still on the board. But again, if it were me, I'm going corner, I'm going wide receiver, I'm going interior offensive line, and then defensive tackle. Those are still all positions I think that they need to draft on today regardless. So what's going on, Jesus? Nice to see you in here. Cade Stover just went off the board. Okay. Ryan will be here in 3 picks, just letting you guys know. So he just let me know. And probably a running back too, Jesus. Yeah, you're right. Can we get a running back, please? Yeah, I think they're going to draft a running back too. All right. So yeah, sorry, I got lots of stuff going on too. You guys know day 3 is more of a keep it casual kind of stuff. So my wife is out. I let her take the day off, go take care of herself. She's gonna have a nice spa day in Kansas City. My daughter is downstairs right now putting together a puzzle. So we got time here, and then she'll be taking a nap in a little bit. I'm more like alone time, which is what she's doing right now too. But regardless, either way, she'll be joining us at some point, I'm sure. But they still have lots of picks and lots of needs that they need. So I don't think tight end is one of them. Lots of people are talking about TJ Tampa again. Right now, the fact that he's falling this far, I'm going to be off of him. So just try to understand that if you guys ask about TJ Tampa a lot, I'm probably not going to talk about him. At this point, I'm not sure really what he offers and why he's falling because we don't know. We assume I did hear last night that the reason Troy Franklin fell were some of his interviews did not go very well. And that could be the same. Again, TJ Tampa not taking advantage of the opportunities in front of him in the Senior Bowl and in the process, things like that. So that's definitely an area you have to look at. David, yes, Mahoney, I like the interior offensive line as well. I had him ranked on day 2. So that would be a nice pick for the Chiefs. Would like to see that. Absolutely. Thank you for the 2. The Schoonster. Appreciate that very much. Hey, Dan, how can I increase my football IQ? Well, football IQ is something that, one, watching a lot of football always helps. Listening to, shows like us, what we do with our film breakdowns, finding people who know film breakdowns, becoming a part of, Twitter was a huge thing for me specifically. When I found Twitter, it was the gateway to all things football. Watching more all 22, kind of understanding what offenses are trying to do and asking questions of anybody. not caring if you say no, not caring if they say no, not caring if they don't respond. So just trying to do everything you can to one, never be afraid to asking questions. Again, that becomes a huge thing. Ryan will tell you, when I first came on board, I was always asking people in the industry, trying to get them trying to get them on, trying to talk with them, ask them questions. There's never any amount of football knowledge you can't learn. Finding little books. This right here, specifically, if you want to learn more about like structure, offensive schemes, like this is just from 2021, the Kansas City Chiefs third down offense. That's it. Like that's all this is about. But this is a good way to start for just learning basic offensive structures. Like this is what we're looking at in this. Like there's actual plays broken down, what they're doing, reads. So things, there's just tons and tons and tons of avenues. Reading books, finding film reviews, getting on YouTube, looking up coaching clinics. So many different ways to increase your football knowledge that a lot of people don't think. Like honestly, looking up cool clinics, COOL, cool clinics on YouTube is one of the ways that I originally learned what the Chiefs want to do with their offensive line. Some of the structures, the running schemes that they run. Andy Heck has a couple of coaching clinics there, and they just did that. So if you guys are looking for this book, I just saw someone to say that I found this on Amazon. So just look up this. You can look up the author, Brett Tavro. He's Tavro. Excuse me. Tavo. I apologize, Brett. We follow each other on Twitter, and that's one of the last names that always gets me with the EAUs, stuff like that. But you can always Google stuff, and I know the QB School is definitely an account worth following, watching, and ingesting. So it's a loaded answer for you, the Shinster, but I appreciate you asking. And just always asking questions is one of those things, right? Like it's always. What do you mean, Jesus, with Chris Jones thoughts? I want to star it, but I'm not entirely sure what that means. Outside of Chris Jones is a stud, right? All right, so there were a couple more tight ends that were drafted. AJ Barner and Cade Stover both went off the board in the last 3 picks. I had Cade Stover in the 3rd, so that was my last 3rd round grade. Gone off the board. And AJ Barner I had in the 4th, so, along with Eric All and Tip Reinman. So tight ends are starting to go. Christian Jones. Okay, right tackle Christian Jones. I gotcha. That is such a 49ers pick, by the way. Malik Mustafa was just drafted by the San Francisco 49ers. That makes a lot of sense. But I think Christian Jones is a bona fide starter in the NFL at right tackle. He's very aggressive. He's a very aggressive player, strong, physical. He's not the best athlete, and his hand carriage is low. He's got long limbs, but his hand carriage is low, and it lets guys into his chest. NFL guys that will be able to, use that against him. He does have good recovery athleticism in the sense that he can sink in. Recovery athleticism is not the word. Sorry. Recovery anchor, like the ability to re-anchor and things like that. So he's definitely got those tools. It's refinement, and you can't teach him to be an athletic player. You just can't teach that. So it does get tough. I am thinking a cornerback here. Round 4 has been good to them with corners, so it wouldn't shock me to see them go here again with one of these 2 picks. Again, they are back to back. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers just selected one of my favorite running backs in this draft, in Bucky Irving. Hate it when other teams do things that I don't want them to do. Which happens every draft. I had Bucky in the 3rd. He's my last 3rd round pick. So outside of all of the running backs have gone basically in order. Marshawn Lloyd went a little bit higher, but I had Jonathan Brooks, Trey Benson, Blake Corum, Jalen Wright, Bucky Irving, Marshawn Lloyd, all ranked in that order. So not terrible. I know we're seeing again lots of stuff about TJ Tampa. You guys, I'm going to keep I'm going to keep saying the same thing. We don't know anything about why he's falling, and that scares me. Scares me. Chris, thank you for your question. Would you like TJ Tampa and Brandon Rice? I wouldn't hate the picks here. Again, I personally, I would get the Brendan Rice pick. I really would. He's a physical, big outside wide receiver who isn't going to be a huge deep threat. Is not going to make a ton of explosive plays, but he will be kind of like the Demarcus Robinson role. Not super fast, reliable hands, excellent red zone threat, and he's going to be able to bring a lot of physicality to your team. One of the things that really stuck out to me was at the Senior Bowl. He drew like 5 different holding penalties on these corners. So he's definitely an area that a guy that will be physical, and TJ Tampa scares me. Scares me. Appreciate you, Chris. Ellie Cruz, thank you for your question. Dan, would you be mad if we trade it back in one of the 4th round picks? I mean, they're both at the end of the 4th round. You're gonna acquire maybe a 6th round pick to move back. It wouldn't make me mad. I think that they're here for a reason, that they can get some of the players that they want. And I personally would stick here at these 4th round picks, maybe move up in the 5th if that's what I'm doing, or move back. I don't think they need to move back. If they wanted to, they could have done that on day 2 and gotten some of the players, but they wanted to get both those players, Xavier Worthy and Kingsley Suamataia. So they definitely wanted those to kind of stay where they're at or move up and get guys. This doesn't feel like a draft where they'd be wanting to trade back. Ray, thank you for being here, and thank you for your question. If they do draft another wide receiver, will that put Sky out of the mix? No, not necessarily, especially not a day 3 guy. But it puts talent at the wide receiver room, which they need. They need more talent. And if you can just get the best guys out there that are willing to work, put in that work. We know this offseason, Sky once was back with Mahomes and Bobby Troop in Texas, trying to get that all figured out. So I'm just hoping that they get the best out of these players, because that's all you can really hope for, is you draft another receiver and it makes Kadarius Toney and it makes Sky Moore want to work a bit harder to keep their roster spots.
I like that idea.
Hey, we got a Ryan.
Definitely different constraints today, so little setup issues here.
No problem. No problem. Chiefs haven't picked yet, so you're good.
Yeah, we got a couple of picks here. We're at 126 on the Lions at this point. I don't know if you've covered it, but I don't know if there's anyone left in the state of Oregon that hasn't been picked yet. So
I didn't even have Evan Williams on my board. I didn't
either.
I was like, okay.
I mean, crappy player, teams only. I had him as a UDFA. Hey, more power to you.
Fair. There's still guys on the board. We've talked about TJ Tampa a lot. And you guys, I know I apologize. I'm not going to keep talking about him. But I would like to get Ryan's opinion. Why do you think he's falling?
Tampa? I don't know. There's got to be something else. This is surprising to me at this point. And by the way, tell me, is my lag gone now that I'm here on fiber?
We're good.
Okay.
We're good.
That's plus. Okay. So the drawback is it's not the studio, but hey, I don't know. It feels much like the Troy Franklin situation to me. I expected him to be gone and he's not. I don't have a true explanation. So I'm just kind of waiting for someone who knows to let me know. Hopefully we'll find that out. I honestly wouldn't want to speculate.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is we can only just assume that something's gone wrong in the process. He didn't take advantage of the Senior Bowl. That's something that I've mentioned. He didn't. And when you don't, when you voluntarily exclude yourself from something that has consistently churned out players and improved their draft stock, teams are going to be like, why? And then if your answers aren't good enough, you didn't want to play football. You don't care enough about it to, again, this is speculation, pure speculation. I don't have anything. I don't know anything, but that would be my mental state, is that if you voluntarily take yourself out from doing that, you don't care enough to improve your draft stock or to put in that time and that effort to be the best you can be, because you get taught from NFL coaches. Again, it's a great environment for you to learn. It gives you another opportunity to play, and teams don't like that.
And they learn who you are one way or the other. And so this case is true today as well. When you don't show, coaches talk about it all the time, but this is part of the love of the game piece. If you're not willing to put in that extra effort, and don't get me wrong, it's a tough slog. I mean, we as media covering the event. It's a lot of travel. Mobile's hard to get to in general, and it's a lot of work. And for the players, it's even more because they have a full schedule. Whereas we get to see practice, do our thing, a couple press conferences, and we're off to making content. They're constantly meeting with people. And sometimes what that does expose is guys that aren't mentally ready to deal with all that pressure. And so that could be it as well.
And I will tell you guys, it's not just meeting with teams. You also have spots lined up for companies like TDN, PFF, things like that after you meet with teams. So you are there from practice early in the morning until 10, 11 o'clock at night. It is a very long day. It's a long process. And some people don't want to do that. But again, that's the work you have to put in during the draft process. If you want to improve your stock, if you want teams to get the best out of you and to be able to see what you need to do, and you know what you have to do, you have to go through it, especially for those seniors that honestly it's become almost a have to do to get not just into day 2, but to get drafted where you probably should be going. Yeah.
It's a tough one. Everybody's got their own kind of thing. If you guys would like this one, we would appreciate that now that we had it up there. You can also get all the gear, including the MVP logo. Love this one. My favorite one that we've ever done. Giovanni Manu goes, the British Columbia tackle. I told you about another one, his buddy. It's Theo Benedict that's on the Chiefs radar. Yes, you can get those too. See, we have a whole slew going here. First Canadian player, I believe, taken in 3 drafts. And I love this because I thought Benedict would go first. Benedict's the better athlete and better size. This guy's more, in my opinion, going to be slated over into a guard, but I think Benedict would be a tackle. Definitely a guy that I think is going to be on the radar for the Chiefs. Manu's like 6'8". He's giant. And I think his pad level in particular, he's a power player. I don't like his kick from what I saw, which was, really, really grainy Canadian television. So I don't have a lot to go on there. But Theo Benedict's a guy, much like Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, that the Chiefs have scouted that not many teams go up to go see. So keep that on your radar here as we're 4 picks from the Chiefs selection.
One of our guys just went to the Philadelphia Eagles. Will Shipley was drafted there. Jesus, I love Matt Derrick. I don't love this take.
Yeah, no. Only in one way, and I'm guessing I know what Matt's getting at, is that he does have the ability to track the ball over his shoulder. He can hit those seams and be that pass element, but they're very, very different in the run game. The down-to-down work is not the same. In that one aspect, I can see. But yeah, I mean, he's a pass catcher. He can do a little bit of everything. I wouldn't stand him in there to pass protect, but things are worse than sometimes they appear. Did you cover your guys? Troy finally goes. I love the fact that teams are paying attention to putting teammates with teammates. I think I'm the highest on Bo Nix of anyone that I know, except for Sean Payton. And I think this only helps Bo Nix have a chance. What do you think?
Yes and no. I also remember putting teammates with teammates, with Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler was put with a teammate. I forget exactly who it was, but they drafted his wide receiver and where he played college, and it didn't always work out. It also can create a poor locker room environment, if we're being very honest with you, because he already has a rapport with him. And if it's Cortland Sutton is there still this year and he's not getting the ball as much as he should be getting the football, that can create animosity. So it's a good move to help Bo Nix reintegrate himself early on in the process. But we have to remember now he's a 4th round pick. Like Troy Franklin is a 4th round pick. Draft capital means something. Even if he was as talented to the NFL teams as I think we all kind of assumed he was, then he probably would have gone even higher. We are answering super chats. For some reason, they were not starring when they were going through immediately. So I'm making sure that right now we have everything, and we do. Okay. We do. I promise you. For whatever reason, they're not automatically being added to our starred category, but that is
Okay. Well,
rectified at the point.
Yeah, let's knock them out then. Are there any Ballhawk CBs worthy of a picky this round? We need to get the offense. Unfortunately, my guy, Kyrie Jackson, went pretty early on. Was he the first Oregon guy that went this round?
Yeah, I think it was him and then Brandon Dorless.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm just taking a look at my board. I'm having trouble sharing it today, so bear with me for a minute, folks. We still both like Cam Hart. He's out there. Abrams Drain is still out there. I have both fourth round grades on them as well as Nehemiah Pritchett. Then it gets pretty thin. DeCamerion Richardson has already gone. I had him as a fifth. Then your guy, Johnny Dixon, followed by his teammate, who was once, heralded. I like Ryan Watts still, Josh Newton. They are like sixes for me. But for the Chiefs, anything here on day 3 is going to be subject to their evaluation. So they may be all over the board compared to what we have.
Yeah, typically you see ball hawking type of players go quickly. And I'll be very honest with you guys. Who are ball hawks at the Chiefs draft at cornerback?
Yeah.
They don't draft ball hawks. They draft athletic players who will play the football in the air and at the catch point. Or assuming they won't play it in the air, they'll play it at the catch point because these guys don't get their heads around. They just don't. So that's not something that they value in a cornerback. They look for athletes. They look for big. They look for physical and long. Outside of Trent McDuffie, that's pretty much what they do. So you have to remember that they prefer physicality and length. And they got one guy that I really liked was DeCamerion Richardson, who was drafted already, like Ryan pointed out. Johnny Dixon's physical. I think Cam Hart can be asked to play more physically, and Kalen Carson is probably the quote unquote ball hawk guy you're talking about. He's cerebral. He's more cerebral in that aspect coming out of Wake Forest. So maybe that's closer to what you're looking for.
I'll tell you what, Pritchett's number 11 on the hawk rate. That's taking them all the way in the air, either PBUs or interceptions versus how many times you're targeted. That's in the Rogue Analytics draft guide. It's one of my key metrics. He's number 11. He's still available. Number 10 is Chow Smith-Wade from Washington State. The Wazoo corner is number 10 on the list. So guys that can affect the ball, but maybe don't have the requisite short area quickness, don't have the length in that case, because Smith-Wade is he's under 5'10". I don't know if the Chiefs are going to dig him, but I said that about Najee, so who knows? Who else? I'm just taking a look through the list here real quick. Everybody else has been gobbled up pretty well. Jerry and Jones went earlier.
Jarvis Brownlee, maybe. I know he played pretty well at the Senior Bowl.
Yep. He did. I'm looking for Brownlee. Yeah, he comes out of 23 on the hawk rate metric. That's all right. Renardo Green was number 5. That's one of the reasons that I wanted him so much. He went obviously early. Kyrie was number 2, and that was the hidden value in Kyrie Jackson is he affected the ball even though he didn't have the elite athleticism. So TJ Tampa is the other guy. So we have 10, 11, and 12 in hawk rate available still. Tampa's the highest, or I'm sorry, the lowest of those 3. But who knows what's going to happen here? I think the Chiefs might throw us for a loop because they always have a little bit of evaluation that's a little bit different.
Yeah. Right now, we're currently seeing a bit of a running back run. It usually happens on day 4. Bucky Irving was taken by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Will Shipley was drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles. Ray Davis was just selected by the Buffalo Bills. So we have that going right now, and the 49ers are about to pick. I would imagine this is probably a corner, but I could be wrong. The offense is pretty stacked.
It's another running back. Isaiah Guerrero goes to the Niners here.
Never mind.
The run is the run. Bro.
I should have known. San Francisco always takes a running back on day 4. Always. Because they can't help themselves. So that's pretty funny.
I mean, you only have RB1 in the whole of the NFL, but, you might as well go get another burner. I mean, it's them and the Miami Dolphins. If I had to pick
a spot for Jalen Wright.
Yeah, if I had to pick a spot for Jalen Wright, I guess I should have seen that coming.
That's funny. All right, Isaac Guerrero had him in the 5th. Not surprising. He goes here. to the 49ers. That's pretty funny. But yeah, that hopefully that answered your question, Jeremy, because that was, trying to get to the super chats, make sure they don't falter, right? Teddy, thank you for the 199. One pick 131, Mahogany, however you want to say it, and 133 Rattler. This is the way. I don't know about that. I don't think I would take Rattler at 133 for the Chiefs. If he's there in the 6th round, sure. But they have other needs to go for. And I would not hate Mahogany here. Not at all.
No, I wouldn't either. In fact, one of the things that really pissed me off was McCormick going. Between Zicker last night, McCormick today, Bortolini today, those are the things that pisses me off. And TJ Tampa does go off the board for who other than the absolute Baltimore Ravens, just a couple picks before the Chiefs.
Just a Ravens pick, too. Like, they just wait. They wait. He's a physical dude. He plays in exactly what they want. It makes so much sense. So much sense.
How do you like my new portable mic here, Dan? I sound pretty normal?
You sound good. You sound just like you normally do.
Okay, good. I'm glad that it's working. Those are you asking about. Oh, Chiefs were ready. Picks in already. So let's ride. I'm interested to see what. I'm very interested to see what they do. Just taking a look here. There was also a run on tight ends here today. I don't think that's going to bother the Chiefs much, to tell you the truth. I could see them. Oh, by the way, the thing that pissed me off the most, not only McCormick, but Layden Robinson going, a guy that is like a Trey Smith clone. Here we are.
They did take a tight end.
For those of you who thought there's no way, they're going to take TCU 6'6", faster than Travis Kelce, Jared Wiley. So you're adding weapons. I don't think this is a call out on Noah Gray. I think this is insurance for Irv Smith, et cetera. I still like Matt Bushman, but he is not a vertical threat. So I still was holding out hope, and this might kill it. I like Jack Westover as an a Noah type. That still could happen, but that would be a lot of overkill. So it looks like this is the guy that they've targeted to try to come up there. I'm going to re-verify his matrix because I don't have it off the top of my head, but what did you like about him?
So he's still growing as a tight end. Like, he's still playing, like he's still learning how to get open as a player. He wins predominantly on athleticism right now. He's fast. He has good hands. He's growing route tree. That's why the Chiefs have drafted him, because again, he's going to be able to be molded. And in this system, in this offense, you want him in space. 6'6", 250 is what you want from a good athletic tight end that is going to play in space in the next level. He's a good blocker. I mean, he's not going to go out there and be a bad blocker. He's not going to be a deficiency when you put him on the field. So he has all around ability at the tight end position. And this is one of those players that you're going to develop. He's going to probably play in spurts every now and then, but you pick him and then you probably make sure he makes the roster, and you just develop him. He doesn't play very much. I would say this might also spell the end of the tight end that they brought in, to be very honest with you, to Irv Smith. Yeah, I would say maybe that. But because this is like the upgraded version of Irv Smith. He can block better. He's a better athlete. He's a better yards after catch player. Irv isn't bringing a ton, unless, again, we're talking straight 4 tight end sets, which is fine by me, or 4 tight end in the room, which is fine by me. But this would be the guy that I would have slotted in much over in Irv Smith.
Well, I think a 4th round pick justifies that, much like L'Jarius when he came in. I think they are going to make a point there. A couple of things to stand out production-wise. He's Matrix 9, but in terms of vertical explosion, he's Matrix 3. So for the tight end group, he gets downfield, gets off the ball. Nice to see you, Jayhawk. Appreciate it. Sorry, I must have had the count wrong. I thought we were going a little bit later. So cheers. I'm still drinking my coffee. And then the key thing that I like about him most is he is number 1 in touchdowns to drop ratio. So plays that you either make versus the ones that you don't. That's particularly for tight ends that catch the ball. That's one of my major metrics. He's also got the same number 5 drop rate overall in the entire class. Cade Stover, who went a little bit earlier, again, a team pairing, former teammates. He was the guy that was a little bit ahead of him, and it was very, very close. So I think Wiley's a safe pick here. And I do think that he's going to give him something that expands the dimensions.
Yeah, I need to do a better job of revising my big board before it goes out because I've missed a few players on here, and he's one of them. I had him in the 4th round, but he's not on my list, so that's on me. And please, Toby, don't spam Dominic Pooney, please, because he was already drafted by the San Francisco 49ers. There's nothing you can do about that now. So that's over. So
don't spam anything, please.
Please. It'd be very nice.
I had Wiley right here. Actually, I had Wiley about 5 to 10 spots above here in the 4th, so they got good value.
Yeah, and I think that right here we're seeing the Chiefs go best player available on their board, but we're looking at upside offensive weapons. Remember how the last couple of drafts have been throw talent at the defense? They are throwing talent at the offense right now, which is always a good thing to do when your offense for the last few years has been going the opposite direction. So now they're trying to course correct, and get out there, get some offensive players. Maybe this puts a cap on drafting a wide receiver, at least right now, because I would have liked to see one of these wide receiver guys. But again, you're bringing in a big vertical threat who can really stretch the field. It's going to take a little bit of that off of Travis Kelce too, because he can obviously still do that into the intermediate deep parts of the field, but you alleviate some of that and give you a guy who can grow into that role possibly.
Yeah, for sure. Picks in for Detroit. Chiefs will be on the clock here in a second. Best remaining at the wide receiver spot for me right now are Brandon Rice and Jacob Cowing. Do you have somebody else that might be higher?
Yeah, I've got both Malik Washington and Jamari Thrash over Brandon Rice right now. I think that both are different players. The Thrash is a very good route running, going to be able to play inside, outside, get open, on demand, bit smaller, not the best. I wouldn't say he has the best hands in the world, but if you're looking for a yak threat, it's Malik Washington. Malik Washington is the guy on right now. Super chats. See, right now, I don't know what's going on with super chats, but they are not starring. We got to make sure we keep an eye on that.
All right. That is a pain in the butt. One of my favorite features about this platform. I'm going back right now and trying to grab anything else.
I've gotten all the super chats. So we're okay. Stevie just put one out there right now, and he's right. Super chats are the only thing you can spam. We're okay with that. Appreciate you, Stevie. Welcome in, man.
You're on it, buddy. Correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, and hey, Eli, nice. He was the
awesome.
happiest kid in the world. I love to hear that. Let's go, Chiefs. From a personal standpoint,
thank you, Eli.
Sione Vaki, the smaller safety from Utah goes. From my standpoint, the other guy that's out here, I just had a thought about in terms of like fit and getting on the board here, and now I've lost that thought. So that's gone.
Yeah, it happens. Please do not. Again, I know it's day 3, guys. The picks are coming in. Please don't spoil the picks. We like to react as they happen.
Keep it to yourself for now. They are making the announcement as we speak.
Yeah. Takes a few minutes.
And now we can go ahead and say it is Jaden Hicks. I don't know how you feel about this. I will just tell you this. I had Hicks as a top third of the 3rd round on my board.
Yeah, I had Jaden Hicks in the 2nd. He was one of my favorite, actually my safety too, in this class. This is another Chiefs type of player. I'm a little interested in what they're going to do with him. Is he going to be a safety? Is he going to play slot? Because again, with no more L'Jarius Sneed, are they going to put him down in the slot on those nickel downs and have Trent McDuffie stay as an outside, an outside linebacker, or is he going to be a dime backer? What's he going to do? Like, he's very, very versatile in the box type of player. He
is. And I think in the nickel role, I think that's something they probably have slated for Chamari Connor. And so in the 3 safety set, if Cook is slow to respond, I don't know what the injury is. I think he could take the place of Cook here for a bit.
Yeah, I don't know what his injury history is. what his injury status is, excuse me. But Hicks is, again, he was slated to go to the Senior Bowl. Did not end up going. I think it was injury related. It was. So that's probably why he fell down into the 4th round. But deficiency wise, he's not a safety in the sense that he's going to be out in the back end safety. He is at best a split safety guy, but he's better in the box. So whether it's dime back or whether it's slot, whether it's just kind of floating around. What?
My crush just went directly after the Chiefs. Braylon Allen, the running back from Wisconsin, is now off the board. Back to Hicks. Sorry, I'm just reacting here. Couple of things to note about him in terms of performance. Matrix 11, he does have the deep range is his best, even though he's more of a box guy. He's 11th in hawk rate, so not taking the ball in the way in the air as much, but he's 4th in this safety class in eagle rate, which puts in forced fumbles, TFLs, plays that you make all over the field, not just in the back. So I do think he's well-rounded and, like you said, more of a box safety, but gives them a little bit more aspect to come down.
He has a great tackler, great instincts, click and close at 6'1", 211 pounds. This dude is a physical player. Now, here's a scenario. Are they going to extend Justin Reed? Because if they don't extend Justin Reed, guess who takes over in the Justin Reed spot next year? It's Jaden Hicks.
Yeah, I would think so. Because, again, I think Connor is probably going to be more the Tyron robber slot role. I think that's a better fit for him. Keep the square pegs in the square holes. You know what I mean? Let's not overthink some of this stuff.
Sorry, Caddy, I didn't mean to ruin that for you with a thought process, but that's possible right there. Appreciate the support as always. But yeah, it does kind of feel like that. He's bigger, he's faster, he can take away tight ends a bit better and more effectively as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Did we get me first? Thank you. Appreciate it. Did I miss other questions though, Dan?
I don't think so. Like I'm going in here. And we appreciate all the questions, all the super chats. Right now, on day 3, we have nearly 1,000 people in here. Like, that's fantastic. We're going to lose some of the questions and stuff, especially with how fast and firing these picks are going.
Yeah.
So we do apologize for stuff. And right now, our super chats are not just automatically going into the starred category. So I have to keep an extra eye on that. We don't want people to not be on screen for submitting and supporting us with actual money. So I'm not trying to say we're favoring one or the other, but if you guys have real questions, ask it twice if we haven't answered it already. Okay, put those question marks in front, and we'll make sure we get it. I promise. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe. And that said, we're son of a motherless. Jacob Cowing's now a 49er.
Yeah.
Pissing me off more and more. Okay, I'm not liking this day so far. We are not going to stay on all day long here, folks. So we're going to take a break here after we wrap up the questions and the supers now, unless something breaks. And then we're going to be back on the clock 5 picks or so before the Chiefs are on the clock next time, unless they trade up. So I've got the rest of the stream stacked out, and hopefully the next stream will fix the super chat issue. Try to make that. Let's see here. Hicks was Dane Brugler's number 1 safety. Yeah, the guy makes plays. That's not.
He was my 2. He was my 2. Like, this is not. He's a really good player that probably fell due to injury concerns, and we've seen the Chiefs take chances on injury concerned players in the draft when they fall. And this was another one of those players, and he fits exactly what they want at the safety position. So, and again, I do think he has upside as a slot player a slot nickel DB / safety player, which they love. They love that versatility in the back end.
Yeah. Joe, athletic profile becomes more important. I mean, let me say this. Athletic profile is this. Film is more important for the top 100s. As you get down, you're going to find guys that don't have as good a film, but they have the athleticism. They can play teams. So athletes on day 3 is probably going to be the priority as we go forward. If guys are tied, they'll take the better athlete so they can keep them on the roster and get something from them.
Absolutely. Yeah. So just we've seen this happen time and time again. And that's why Chris Ballard with the Colts does the same thing. We're seeing a lot of on day 3, especially in this draft. Okay. In this draft, with the back end not being what it usually is because of the COVID year and things like that, it's become a little tougher for teams to get talented players. Now, take chances, take shots on those athletic guys, and maybe you can develop them.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, DC. The Niners are hitting all my buttons today. Okay, let's run through the rest of the questions, and we'll call this stream done for a bit. We'll let you guys have a break. We'll get back on just before the Chiefs select again. I don't know what you covered before and what you didn't, Dan.
Oh, it's all good. We'll just go ahead and start right here. Curtis, thank you for your question. Who was this year's Trey Smith? Injured but good, or they have been drafted? Well, I mean, it's not the exact, but Jaden Hicks kind of fits that profile now, doesn't he? He was injured.
Somewhat.
It's not the same extent because Trey Smith was questions about blood clots. Blood clots are very, very serious. As someone with not myself experience, but I know a lot of people who've struggled with blood clots. And when you have a blood clotting disorder, it is not easy. It's not easy to play with. So that's why he fell that far. But the Chiefs just selected Jaden Hicks, who again went through. I don't remember exactly what his injury was, but
I don't have it in front of me either. But it was lower body, as far as I understand. And the big one has already gone off the board. It's Zach Zinter, who had a tib-fib fracture.
That's right.
And teams got smart and they grabbed him earlier, because if they let him get to this level, the Chiefs would have taken him. I am almost 100% certain. It would have been a great pick.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, Curtis. Will, thank you for your question. Tyrone Tracy with one of these next 2 picks.
Coming.
It's coming. They took Jared Wiley and Jaden Hicks, so no. But it does appear like a running back might be on the table. They took 2 positions here that I would have said was behind defensive tackle and wide receiver and interior offensive line. But this is, again, best player available on their board. So they're pretty confident the Lions weren't going to come up and get a safety, even though they probably should have, in between their teams. And so they were able to take Wiley first and then get Jaden Hicks next. So I do think running back is definitely on the table with the 5th, 6th, or the 7th pick.
Yeah, I'm with you. Guys, I got about 10 inches of snow so far. Had to come down to town because my internet went out completely after we were done streaming last night. So we'll see if I can get back up there. I got one kid camping out to let me know.
Nice. Always good to see that. Thank you, Me First, for the $1.99. Appreciate the support. We got that one. Chris Weeks, thank you for your question. Draft Buzz has Hicks comp as Brian Cook. Any reality to that? Similar players for sure, in the sense that they are probably best triggering downhill. I think Cook has taken to his teaching. He's taken more of that deep path. He's got better range, I think. I haven't seen a ton of Jaden Hicks' range. So maybe I'm wrong, but maybe the Chiefs see a little bit differently. But with his explosiveness, with his speed and athletic ability, I do think that you can see him being utilized in the same kind of way. But the reality is that, yes, they like these versatile safeties. And Brian Cook, I think, was faster.
Yeah.
It was faster.
Overall, Hicks came in at a 94 on the matrix, and the deep matrix came in at 97, about a point below Cook in both. Okay. But eerily at Cincinnati, Cook's role was exactly the same as Hicks. So as long as you understand and you have a football IQ that you can identify what's going on, you can make the transition. Now, I still don't like Brian as a stand back there, center field cover, sideline to sideline, but as a half safety, I think we're really happy with him.
Yeah, and that's going to be the same with Jaden Hicks. The interesting part is they don't have a true deep safety on their roster right now. So I'm interested to see what happens there, because Mike Edwards had the best ability to do that for them last year, but we saw how much they use split safety looks. Maybe they're pretty much going away from any true single high safeties, and they're just going to play cover 3 in that sense, where they don't have to worry about having a true center fielder.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, Chris. JC, thank you. Thank you very much. You guys are the Kings, have knocked this draft out of the park. You have become my go-to for draft analysis. And thank you. Thank you so much. That's honestly what we've grown to over the last few years with not just draft analysis, but I think football knowledge is really the point and sticking point where we're continuing to see so many comments about people and how much they've learned from the channel. That really comes down that's what I do this for. That's what we do it for. Like I love sharing knowledge with you guys. So that's fantastic. Appreciate you being along for the ride. That's all we can really do. Just hope, right? One of your guys also went, Nehemiah Pritchett. I guess the ones that you had slated for the Chiefs. Pritchett goes to the Seahawks with the first pick in the 5th round.
Not too worried about it.
Yeah, I'm not either. It was just more of someone you had slated for the Chiefs. Marcelino, thank you. I can't believe the Chiefs haven't went in offensive line again. Don't they only have 9 with Kingsley? I mean, they have probably that many.
I think they have 3 practice squad players as well. So I do expect more. I'm pissed that McCormick went, and obviously the Zinter went. I think there was an interior guy that was probably on the board that got taken, and so they're shifting gears a little bit. But I do think there's still a few left.
Okay, that's fair. Will this guy be possibly one of them? Because yes. I'll be honest with you, I didn't love what I saw out of Satoa at right tackle at Houston, if I'm not mistaken. Was it right tackle?
Yeah, he played some right tackle. He played some
Utah.
right guard.
Or Utah. Yeah. But
yep.
I didn't do a ton of deep dive on him. I don't know if you have more thoughts on him.
I have him right here, absolutely at the top of the 5th, Sataoa. He's a guy that I think has versatility, not as defined yet as a player coming out at his age. So I do think he's behind the curve a little bit, but he is definitely a guy that I think is draftable for the Chiefs. He is probably, I'm just double checking right now. I have Bo Limmer, a higher grade right now as an interior, but then I have Laumea and then CJ Hansen from Holy Cross.
Gotcha. You see, I've got Bo in the top of the 4th. I've got Cedric Van Pran at the bottom of the 3rd grade. Christian Mahogany in the 3rd. Hunter Norzad also in the 3rd, which I think he's being extremely underrated out of Penn State. Played center, played guard, played tackle. He's got tons of experience everywhere. So I like those 3 players for interior depth as well.
You nailed it. I wasn't looking at the top half. I still had Mahogany and Van Pran in the 3rd as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like there's some good value, at least from our evaluations, left on this interior board. Any concerns about Chiefs running back depth? Thank you, Ground and Pound. So yeah, I think that I'm personally a little concerned about it because we don't know if Jerick McKinnon's coming back. True. Off the injury. I like Clyde. I like Isaiah. I don't like anybody else really on their roster. I'll be very honest with you. So, in my opinion, they need to draft the running back or bring somebody in their 6th or 7th round. 5th round, maybe not so much. We'll see. Maybe they trade up in the 5th round to get one of their players that they really like. But at the end of the day, the Chiefs are going to do what the Chiefs do. They're either going to draft one in the 7th round, bring him in for UDFAs.
Tracy, Dylan Lobb. I even like Audric Estime. I like the way that he runs. I don't care that he's slow. Frank Gore Jr., Dylan Johnson, Cody Schrader. And that's just the dudes that are on the draft board. I'm not worried yet. Yeah,
I mean, Blake Watson, maybe the best and most explosive athletic running back in this class. I think he actually was the RB1 in the Matrix. Maybe I'm wrong. But explosive, 41-inch vertical at like 5'9", 5'10", huge explosive player. And Memphis just continues to churn out these like used to be wide receivers, transferred over, and now they're running backs, and they're just hugely athletic. So I like Blake. I like I just had his name, Blake Watson, a lot. And you touched on my guy, Tyrone Tracy. I think needs to be a Kansas City Chief. Like that's I think Tyrone Tracy.
I don't have Watson's full testing score, so he did not make the Matrix. But Tyrone Tracy's Matrix 2, right behind, right in front of Jalen Wright, and right behind Isaac Arendo. So 2 guys that have gone on this day. Tracy's there. Lob is 4. The Boise State guy, George Alani, is number 5. So definitely a UDFA volume guy there. Shipley, he went. I'm looking for 7. Where's my 7? There he is. It is Estime.
Interesting.
Yeah. So there's plenty of running back depth. Not worried about it.
Yeah.
I think at this point, Xavier Thomas goes to the Cardinals. Why don't we take a break? And folks, there's another stream coming up. We'll jump on that. A couple of picks before the Chiefs are on, unless they trade in.
Yep, we'll let you guys know. And again, thank you all for being in here with us. We're going to keep churning around. Again, we'll talk a little bit before they pick, a little bit after they pick, and then get to them in the 6th and 7th round, unless they trade up. So from Ryan and myself here at RGR, we'll see you guys in what? Maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes? I don't know. We'll find out.
Like that. See you in a bit.